What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna take a look at this brand new 2022 BMW X5. Big shout out and thank you to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this new SUV for today's video. Take a look at their website, linked down below. And the model that we're looking at today is the xDrive40i, finished off in Arctic Gray Metallic, has the Driver's Assistance Pro package along with the M Sport and Premium package, and an MSRP at $77,600. Underneath the hood of this 2022 BMW X5, you're going to find a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder turbocharged engine paired to an 11 horsepower mild hybrid system. In total, this pumps out 335 horsepower with 330 pound-feet of torque and is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, sending the power to all 4 wheels through the xDrive all-wheel drive system. And with a curb weight around 4,800 pounds and running on a 21.9 gallon fuel tank, you're looking at 21 miles per gallon in the city with 25 out on the highway, and this SUV can still tow up to 6,600 pounds with max payload a little over 1,000 pounds. Overall length is 194.3 inches with wheelbase at 117.1. Minimum ground clearance is 8.7 inches. Height comes in at 68.7 inches with width at 78.9. Taking a look at the exterior styling now with this 2022 BMW X5. It's a pretty sporty looking family SUV, and I love all the black accents. Taking a look at these LED headlights, you can see how they illuminate, and I really like the daytime running light in the lower side underneath the projector beams. They light up in the white, have a very mean look, especially blacked out. Then you can see the kidney-shaped grille finished off in all gloss black with active grille shutters behind it to improve efficiency. There's also an integrated front view camera, and then down below you can see more gloss black trim, parking sensors, as well as a safety sensor in the center, and then more active grille shutters in the lower side. You can see ducts on the side, and then more openings on the farthest side of the bumper with more parking sensors and a lot of mesh, and even a functional air inlet to improve aerodynamics. I really love all the sharp lines up front, and it really comes together to make this SUV stand out. And you can even see how the hood rolls over the top portion of the grille with your BMW logo. There's sharp lines all within it, fading towards the windshield. It really comes together. Moving to the side profile, I think the X5 is extremely proportional with all of the shapes, and the overall size is a really good look. We even get the optional set of 22-inch wheels finished in a multi-spoke design with gloss black. We get body-colored fender flares, a nice trim piece behind the front wheels, and then a really sharp line cutting through the door panel and the lower side. You get smooth body panels and another sharp line. Then you can see the body-colored mirror cap with gloss black below it, an integrated camera as well as a turn signal, all gloss black trim around the windows as well as body-colored door handles, and then we get gloss black for the rails up top with a panoramic sunroof, and then a really nice design all throughout the side with sharp lines. And then as we move our way to the rear end, you can see the integrated spoiler up top with more body colored and gloss black. We get a third brake light as well as the windshield wiper. And then the LED taillights are sunken into the bodywork with a smoked out area in the center, and they have some good depth to them. We get the xDrive40i badge on the right, backup camera and BMW logo, and then the X5 logo on the left. You get a ton of sharp lines in the rear end of the X5, and I love the trim around these exhaust tips. You can even see gloss gray with a body-colored diffuser to add that sporty touch, and then finishing it up with all the parking sensors as well as your reflectors. So there's a good look at the 2022 BMW X5. This color is a really cool subtle design, especially with all the black accents. X5 is definitely a sporty car, especially with an M Sport package. We have BMW's key fob with some silver accents. Tapping the BMW logo, we can lock the SUV. Then grabbing any of the door handles, we can just do that. It automatically unlocks, and we can check out this interior. This particular spec gets the Coffee Vernasca Leather interior with wood trim as well as some silver accents. Moving to the door panel, you can see that coffee color with some contrast stitching. You get some padding as well as a grab handle, all of the window controls and mirror controls as well as the liftgate, memory seating as well as the massage seat button. Then you have your release handle with lock and unlock, some more stitching up top, ambient lighting, and then a ton of storage down below. We get the M logo on the door sill, and then all of your power controls on the left side of the seat. You can adjust your bolsters and lumbar, and you even have a button up front to automatically extend this leg rest. I really love this coffee color. It's a nice brown. You can see all the perforated design with the stitching. Backrest has more of the perforations, nice bolsters, and then the smooth leather up towards the headrest. And then we get a black steering wheel with the M logo down below. And then now inside the X5, keep my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. BMW has a full LCD gauge cluster right in the center with your navigation screen. You can also see the miles per hour as well as your tach over on the left with a few more engine vitals. This left stalk, you can tap this BC icon and it scrolls through a few different items over on this right side like horsepower and torque. You can also see a G-force meter, your audio, and then your gear indicator, and then a few more things like trip information. You can see the BMW logo and some nice stitching for the airbag. All of your cruise control settings on the left with the mode as well as the steering assist. Then on the right side we get some audio controls. We do get steering wheel mounted paddle shifters that have a pretty good look and feel. Turn signal stalk on the left side, and then you get your windshield wipers on the right. This has an automatic button so you can adjust the steering column. Then all the headlight controls down below with a storage space down here. You can also see some silver trim with 2 air vents, some nice stitching along the dashboard as well as a heads-up display system. And then I really like this wood trim. It has a nice texture to it and it's a satin look, and I like it contrasting with all that silver around it. Very premium feeling design. Then we have our full navigation infotainment screen. On the home screen, you can scroll through this and see all sorts of different information that you can configure. We have the media icon on the left to go through all of that information. We have communication for your phone integration, a massive touchscreen display for the navigation, very snappy to use, and I like how simple everything is. The car icon on this left side, you can see some driver information like sport displays. Then you can go back and see then a few more things that you can adjust. We also have your apps that'll pop up with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and then a few more things on this main screen. If I go ahead and take this nice crystal design for the shifter, push us into reverse, backup camera pops up on the left side with the top down on the right, and you can configure everything you see by just tapping these icons. You get a really good look at everything, and I like how they use the same color as the car. We get a 3D parking camera view as well. You just tap any of these icons and you can get a good side view, and you can see how it even rolls when you change. And then going into drive, you can see how everything looks. Then if I go ahead and tap the P button, we're into park. Then underneath the screen, we have this icon right here for all the safety information that comes up. You can configure it and change all the different information, scroll through and see a few more. We have an LCD screen down below that for the climate control, and I love how we get dual fan speed for the dual zone climate up here. Of course, we have different temperatures you can adjust for driver and passenger. We have different controls down here, heated seats and ventilated seats as well, with the defrosters on the left. Then we get some shortcuts down below with also your volume and on off. Then more of this really cool looking wood trim. Just pressing that up, it gets out of the way. We have 2 cup holders, a 12 volt and USB. And then a little bit of storage space in here, as well as this key card that you can use as a key fob. Locking that back into place, you can see the smooth leather around it with more of the wood trim and then all piano black. And I love the crystal design for all 3 of these. You can even see traction control, shortcut to the camera and parking sensors, and then different drive modes. If you tap the Eco Pro mode, it comes up on the dash, all nice blue accents. Comfort mode gives it that nice orange look, and then going into sport, it gets a little bit more aggressive with all the red. Behind that, you can see your auto hold as well as the parking brake. Then the rotary dial on this right side with different shortcuts. You can just tap this, rotate the dial, and pretty much do anything you want using this control panel down below. It makes it very simple. You can see how everything is set up. You can bump it over. And then behind that, we have more of that coffee color for this armrest. You can press the front button. These open up in 2 separate pieces, and we have a pretty good amount of storage down here. We can also take a look at the glove box. You have a pretty large bucket as you would expect. And then one last look at the interior with the X5. This is a really luxurious spec, especially with this color combination in the wood. I think it's a pretty cool combination all around. Nice and simple, but yet very luxurious. We also get that full panoramic sunroof with a black sunshade, and LED dome lights up front with all the controls. And then moving on to the rear seat space, if I grab the door handle and open it up, we get a similar door panel back here, then all the same type of leather back here as well with some perforations in the center. This can accommodate 3 people. Then you can grab the leather strap in the center and pull this down, and we get a nice armrest in here with some storage, and then you even get cup holders up front. Pretty cool touch to see. Behind the front seats, we get some storage that you can pull out. Then you even get 2 USB ports and a spot to install a tablet. You also get climate controls back here with all the actual controls, and then a little bit of storage. Alright, so sitting now in the back seat of this BMW X5, this is a really roomy SUV. I'm 5'11", plenty of headroom up here, and with the driver's seat even set at my height, I got some good knee room as well as some foot room. These seats don't recline at all, but they're in a pretty good spot. Of course, you can pop up these headrests, so not too bad back here, especially with that center armrest. Left armrest is in a really good place, and you got quite a lot of glass back here to make it pretty comfortable. Moving on to the cargo space, you can tap the button on the key fob, the one on the back, or of course that one on the interior. The upper portion of the liftgate is going to automatically open up. Then you just press the button back here, it'll unlock the bottom, and you can fold this down like a tailgate. Underneath this floor, you can pull this up. It's on a gas strut, and you get a full-size spare with some of the equipment. Then we can close it up. Nice and squared off in the back of an X5. Very roomy for a lot of storage. You can see the X logo on the left side. Then we get a privacy cover up on top, and then a 12 volt on the right with a little bit of a storage cubby. And then after manually folding down the rear seats, you can see just how much more storage space the X5 is gonna have. Going in through the door, they fold down nice and flat, and you really do get a ton of space. And there's even a little bit of storage up in front of these seats. And then to go ahead and close everything up, you manually grab this and lock it closed. Then you just press the one button, and it'll automatically close everything down. Alright guys, so we are setting off now in the 2022 BMW X5. I'm a pretty big fan of these SUVs because they got a lot of size to them, a lot of space, and even with the 6-cylinder, you know, not being an X5M or the M50, it's a pretty quick SUV and really well-rounded. So getting my bearings with it, I really love this interior, especially with the wood color. It feels really nice, looks pretty nice as well. And the coffee color in here, it's just a nice, like, kind of laid-back feeling. Really cool to see. Visibility and everything, you have such a good view out, you're nice and high up, really large windshield, mirrors all do a great job, and there's really no blind spots. The rear end, given it has that sporty design, not quite like an X6, but it still is pretty sporty for a generic SUV style. The rear end is really close to you, so you can see out pretty nicely, left shoulder and everything. And it's a really refined vehicle. You know, for mid $70,000 range, it should be pretty nice. Going over a bridge and then back to smooth roads. It's nice and comfortable. You know, you got all the seating controls. Tapping the button over here, we can play with the lumbar, a massage, shoulder massage, all that kind of good stuff. So it really is a pretty loaded luxury vehicle. And I mean, with the leg rest and everything, you can get comfortable in an X5 all day long and just drive it for the long haul, daily driver, family SUV, whatever you need to do. This can definitely do it. Now we have the 6-cylinder, which honestly is a really good motor. We can bump this over into the sport mode, then you pull it once and we're now into the actual manual mode, and we can play with these shifting characteristics, all-wheel drive, getting up to some speed, just giving it a little bit of gas. It's a nice peppy vehicle to drive, and I think it gets up to speed pretty quickly. You know, we're cruising at 45 miles an hour and really smooth. If we downshift just a little bit and give it some gas, like passing speed, I mean, right up to 60. So nice power plant, and the fact that it can tow a lot. You also have the all-wheel drive, so you can drive it pretty much wherever. It's a pretty capable SUV. And now that we're going a little bit faster, still nice and quiet. Tone down that massage. That's pretty impressive, all the massage characteristics. Most cars don't have all that. We're going into a pretty quick turn, feeling it out. While it's got some weight to it, it's honestly pretty stable. It really is a confident to drive SUV, and you can just feel it's kind of built like a tank. You know, there's no loose ends, nothing tinny or cheap about it. Even the interior, it's nice and solid feeling. I think BMW does a really good job just doing that. So then flipping around to the point of view to immerse yourself in the X5. Very snappy transmission too. It's nice and responsive. Nothing sluggish about the way this car moves. It's a really good, well-rounded SUV with a pretty good balance of performance, style, and all the luxury features. And I like how you get all the technology, you know, lane keeping, all that kind of stuff to make it really feel like a top-tier trim level car to drive. Going back into the comfort mode, just kind of relaxing the car a little bit. Definitely a great view out, as you can see. And I like how you can fold down those rear headrests just to give you that added visibility in back. But really planted going over some bumps and everything. And I also like how simple BMW does their interiors. I know some people want a lot more going on with the center screen as well as the infotainment screen, but honestly, you get all the information that you need and nothing that you don't need. When your nav is on, you have all your turn-by-turn right in the center, and it's just easy to use. You know, I don't like how some car companies just put a million things in here to where it's so confusing. You know, while driving, you can't exactly just pay attention to everything on the screen. You gotta be able to drive, and I think BMW does a good job giving you a driver's car. It actually feels like a car that is meant to be driven and you can have fun with it. It has that solid feeling, but it's also driver focused and engaging to drive. Going around some quicker turns now. Nice and planted. and then hitting the brakes once they come up onto very slow people. But yeah, the BMW X5, definitely a nice SUV to be behind the wheel of. I just like how solid everything is, and it's a really good size. And for what you get, I think the pricing's pretty good. You know, being more of a top tier luxury brand, they definitely do a great job with what the X5 has to offer and all their different trim levels. If you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for plenty more content. And then once again, big shout out and thank you to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this new X5 for today's video. Take a look at their website linked down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.